All right, folks. I know it's kind of old news at this point. I think it's about 3 or 4 days old, but I've been busy on other things such as eBay and just kind of slowing down due to the fact that without the major heavy hitter shows like Sisters or The Oval to talk about for the time being, it's good to kind of step back from the channel, work on other things, and, reappear like Tupac from time to time. Or maybe that's not the best analogy to use for the subject, but Will Smith has been banned from the Oscars for 10 years. And to be honest, to me, at first glance, it kind of feels like a slap on the wrist. I know there are people who have had many thoughts on this. It's like, wow, how come he gets 10 years, but the likes of Harvey Weinstein and so many other, celebrities and producers who have been accused, if not exposed, for sexual misconduct and a slew of other things far worse than a slap in the face, as what Will Smith did to Chris Rock. But to kind of go over the rundown of it, just to break it down, the Academy or the board has decided that for a period of 10 years from April 8th, 2022, Mr. Smith shall not be permitted to attend any Academy events or programs in show or virtually, including but not limited to the Academy Awards, based on his unacceptable and harmful behavior. Now, from there, Will Smith put out a statement: "I accept and respect the Academy's decision." To me, it doesn't really seem that big of a deal because wasn't 2016 the Oscars so black, boycott the Oscars thing? That was like 4, 5, 6. That was over half a decade ago. And then Will and Jada showed up to this Oscars. The slap happened, and then he got his first Oscar. Then on April 1st, that's when Will decided to immediately resign from the Academy of Motion Pictures and Science, or I think I probably messed it up, but the Academy. And I mean, at first glance, it's like, does it really matter? He got his Oscar. From what I've understood, nobody's taking it away from him. What does it matter? Now, I also understand that looking it up, he hasn't been exempt from getting nominated, so it's quite possible that a Will Smith project could indeed get nominated for the Academy Awards or the Oscars. But then you think about the number of Will Smith affiliated projects that have been put on hold ever since Slapgate started. Now, I've heard mixed reactions to this. Some thinking, again, I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, some thinking 10 years is way too long, it's ridiculous. But the thing about it is, let's be honest here, I'm going to throw the question. Number one, if Will wasn't nominated for an Oscar for King Richard, would he and Jada have come to the Oscars to begin with? Number two, is it fair he got 10 years? The thing about it is, and I've said this since day one, the difference between Slapgate and all the numerous Academy nominees and winners who have been exposed for sexual misconduct and other things, the difference is, number one, and let me say this, I am not trying to say that Will slapping Chris Rock is a million times worse than sexual assault, pedophilia, and all that stuff. What I'm saying is the difference is Slapgate occurred on the Academy's watch, on their stage, in front of a live international audience. I've said this since it happened. I'm more stunned, not just by I'm more stunned by the Academy's lack of action in the moment than Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Just the way the entire situation was handled, to me, has me looking at the Academy like, what exactly went on to lead to the situation? Not the fact that, Chris's joke was the thing and then Will got on stage, but why didn't the Academy do anything? That's my biggest question. But then you also look at the fact that since this occurred in real time at the Academy Awards, this isn't the same as, hey, we found out that so-and-so's been, involved with a sexual sexual assault thing for the past 20 years, and we just found out due to allegations and evidence that doesn't hit the same, no pun intended, as getting slapped on stage at a live event. There are major differences here. Again, I'm not saying that the slap is more intense and more foul than assault. Sexual assault is the fact that it happened in real time and Will Smith got punished accordingly. And like I said before, it doesn't really matter, but when you really look at the nooks and crannies of it, you might wonder how hard is this going to affect Will Smith's career. One imagines that this will just blow over in a couple months, a few weeks or whatnot. Eventually things might get settled. Chris Rock said eventually he's going to talk about it. But at the same time, I am wondering about Will's career. It's the fact that how long are these projects going to be shelved, like the movies and whatnot? Will they be let go indefinitely? I mean, will anybody want to touch a Will Smith product due to the fact that, well, even though these projects are not exempt from nominations, it really wouldn't look right to have our winner, let's say he gets the trophy, not be there to, give a speech and whatnot on television. So they'd rather steer clear. Will Smith is still a superstar, but this is something that's going to taint his reputation until the end of his days. I mean, even after he's gone, this is going to be in the history books. I wouldn't be surprised if in the history books in the next 1 or 2 years, that picture of the slap is going to be involved in it. Heck, what was it recently? I just saw somewhere that, there are some schools that have textbooks that have Kanye West with the MAGA hat on. So it's like, the things we're living through, as crazy as they are, they're already part of history. And Slapgate is no exception. Now, what's going to happen next? I mean, I guess this was the extent of the Academy's, I guess you could say, disciplinary action, because even after Will decided to resign, they said, we're still going to have our board meeting and come up with the, exact punishment. But like I said, 10 years could be worse. I mean, heck, it could have been for life. Some argue that it should be only 1 year, shouldn't be any years. But again, Will has his first Oscar. He was the one that tainted it by having his slap overshadow his victory. And there's really nothing that can be done about it. Like I said, at the end of the day, these people are rich. They have notoriety, fame, and he has fans. There are still people who side with him and how he handled the situation, as well as those who side with Chris as opposed to Will. But I feel like over the past few days, especially with the various Red Table Talk snippets and, the clip of Jada filming Will when he didn't want to be filmed, all those things resurfacing, they have really had people pointing the finger at Jada as opposed to Will, even though, Will was the one that got on stage and slapped Chris Rock. But, apparently that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that it really is interesting to see how things unfold, because I'm going to do another video because the possibility of Chris Rock suing Will might actually be a reality. But regardless, 10 years, it is what it is. I feel like it could have been a lot worse than what it was. I feel like the Academy should definitely do something for Chris Rock. I think in their statement when they announced the discipline of Will Smith, we want to express our deep gratitude to Mr. Rock for maintaining his composure under extraordinary circumstances. We also want to thank our hosts, nominees, presenters, and winners for their poise and grace during our telecast. And like I said before, I'm going to do a separate video on Chris Rock and what he may or may not do, but I would be kind of upset at them as well, because where was security stopping Will from getting on stage? Why wasn't Will asked to leave the event? I mean, there have been so many conflicting stories. I mean, Will Packer went on Good Morning America to talk about it a bit, and it's just weird, because how can you say that it was the decision to force Will Smith to leave fell on Chris Rock's hands? I mean, if Chris didn't want to have him arrested, that's one thing, but the Academy should have been like, no, you cannot go up there and assault one of our hosts. You will not be remaining in the building. What the heck? All right. But in any case, like I said, I'll talk about that in a separate video. But yeah, the Will Smith thing, going to throw this out here. Theoretically speaking, What if Jada was actually in a project that got nominated for an Academy Award? Would she go without Will? And if she did, what would that say about her? I don't know. But like I said before, Hollywood is a really fickle place. Like, you know, I know people, and this is true, like every time there's like a hot news story, something else comes to replace it. I'm not saying there haven't been stories over the past couple weeks, but I don't think there's been anything to really knock the Slapgate out of the news, because there's always another level to this thing where maybe the slap itself isn't talked about as much, but the magnifying glass has definitely been pointed in the direction of Will and Jada's marriage. So all I got to say is this. I'm not going to give my thoughts on the marriage per se, but if I were to ever get married, and I'm not saying I'm a celebrity in any shape or form of the word itself, but given that I have a bit of a public persona due to my social media presence, specifically on YouTube, I don't think I would want to have a marriage that's, you know, I forgot who said this, but I remember hearing this on a podcast. The thing about public relationships where things usually go wrong is that things that are little that happen between you and your partner get magnified once the public gets their hands on it. So something that happens between you and your partner can usually be handled between the two of you, or it's like, oh man, you know, you broke one of the glasses at the dinner table. But then once the public gets a hold of that, they will magnify the situation to you just burnt the house down. And then that leads to a lot of trouble. So I just think that, to be completely honest, this might sound generic, but yeah, as the statement said, hopefully this is a time of healing and understanding. Whatever Will Smith is going through, which definitely seems like a lot, I do hope he gets the help he needs. You know, we talked about Kanye and everything, about him going crazy, him needing mental health and whatnot, you know, assistance and whatnot. But I'm not saying Will Smith is crazy, but he has been acting a bit irrational. And yeah, I definitely feel like that slap was like mental either abuse or a culmination of all the various things he has to put up with over the past couple of years. But I just hope he gets help. Writing a book, hey, putting it all out there, that's one thing, but I feel like you really need to take care of things at home and within your own mind for the sake of your sanity. So I don't give a damn about the punishments, the bans, the delayed projects. Even though I really have lost all respect for Will Smith after he did what he did, I just hope he does what needs to be done for himself. That's all I gotta say. So let me know your thoughts. Do you care about the Oscar ban? Do you think it was too much? Do you think it was too little? Yeah, there are people who have done a lot worse than Will Smith who haven't, you know, gotten bans and whatnot. But like I said, if he wasn't nominated for King Richard, I highly doubt he would have went to the show to begin with. But let's talk about it more in the comments section below. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit subscribe and hit the bell icon to select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel.